Hello YouTube, this is the first ever episode of the Pokemon Market Watch. Just want to have a quick word saying I'll be releasing a video roughly once every week, maybe twice a week, depending on what happens. Example, internationals, world championships, or any other events that may increase or decrease Pokemon cards. But without further ado, I'm going to start with the Crimson Invasion. I'm just going to look at the noticeable cards that are high in price, slightly cheaper than normal, or slightly more expensive than normal. I'm going to start off with the Lusamine Full Art. It's got a market price of just under $24, but the actual lowest at the moment is $30 on the market. If I was you, I would not pick one up yet. I would definitely sell though. But I would say Lusamine is a needed card in every deck. At least one. I would personally suggest two, but at least one I've seen in nearly every deck so far. We also have the Water Energy, the secret rare version, obviously, sitting at just under 20. There are some for about over 20. Again, if you want to get rid of this, I suggest selling it now. Probably wait if you do want this. If you're a collector, feel free to buy it now, but I would suggest waiting a little bit longer. Obviously, we have the Silvally GX Hyper Rare. This is Silvally deck has been kicking up quite a bit of fuss recently because it is becoming extremely well, especially with the metal deck. The metal toolbox deck that's around, its market price is about 19. It's actually selling for about $23, $24 at the moment. I would suggest if you have one, sell it. If you don't have one, I would honestly just suggest picking up the collection box, I believe it is, the shiny Silvally collection box, and getting out that instead because you get packs as well. Next up, I want to talk about the Gladion Full Art. Market price of about $17, and they're selling actually for about 20 plus. Obviously it says at the bottom low of just over $15. That doesn't include pricing, unfortunately, postage, sorry. So I would suggest at the moment, if you have one, I would suggest selling it and then picking up some more in packs if you open them, or like picking up as a bit cheaper on some other sites. We also have the Counter Energy and also the Warp Energy at the same time I'll talk about. Counter is just over 16 and the Warp is a bit over 14. I would suggest shifting both of these if you have them. I don't honestly see these being that great at the moment. Maybe obviously in the future they may be a bit better. You may be wanting them in the future. You may actually want them now, but they are 4 in each deck, so they're not as necessary as, for example, the Secret Rare Water Energy. Alright, let's go to the next page. Next up we have the Silvally Full Art. I would again suggest picking up the collection boxes, but this is sitting around at just under $15. The actual lowest at the moment that it's showing us is about $20. Again, I would just wait for the collection box. There is a low there again of $13.50, but that doesn't include shipping, unfortunately, which is really unfortunate. Next up we have the Counter Catcher Secret Rare as well. That's sitting at just under $14 market price. The cheapest one at the moment is actually about $17. If you have one, I would suggest selling this now. If you actually want to keep it, obviously don't get rid of it. But I would wait to pick these up, and if you have them, I would suggest selling them now. The Olivia Full Art, there's a reprint actually, is market price of nearly 11. It's actually selling at the moment. The cheapest one is about 16. This is actually really high price compared to what I thought I would be personally. If you have one, I would get rid of this now. If you want one, I would probably hold off and wait a little bit longer and see if the price goes down a little bit. Next up we have the Buzzwole GX. Obviously this is getting some attention, similar to the Silvally GX, actually just underneath it, we'll talk about in a minute. The Buzzwole GX market price is just over $9, and the cheapest at the moment is actually about $13, just under. It's actually a really fun deck that can do some very interesting things, especially if you say it's a fighting type as well. But it's up to you on this one. I would probably suggest maybe holding out and hoping it goes down a little bit more, goes back down to its normal market price. If you have one, you can sell it obviously for slightly over the market price and then wait for it to hopefully go down. We have the Silvally now. It's at just over $8 actually for the market price, and the cheapest one at the moment is about $13. Again, I would hold off and probably get the not legendary collection box, sorry, the collection box of the Silvally, and just, you know, get that instead. It's a lot cheaper. You get packs as well. Obviously the Type Null as well is actually incredibly high. There's a holo rare version, and they have a market price of just over $7, And even then, the cheapest one I can see, when I've had a look as well, is about $20 including shipping. This is unbelievable. I would recommend just waiting for it to go down or getting the common version. Just get a much cheaper version. There's no reason to spend $20 on a holo that is extremely easy and current to find. We also have the Wishful Baton Secret Rare. They're sitting about just under actually $7 on the market price, with the cheapest being at $13. If you have this and you're not playing it, I would honestly suggest trying to get rid of it at the moment. You could probably make a bit of profit out of this and then buy another one in a couple of weeks when it goes back down to its normal $7 to maybe even $8 price. Next up we have the Katana GX. I've seen a few people at the moment actually playing this and saying it's got some potential. Obviously some people playing it in the Metagross and Solgaleo deck. I honestly think it's a pretty nice card to say as well. Its J attack is 1 energy. Obviously, if you're playing it in the Solgaleo or the Metagross decks, obviously there's some things that are better to play it. You want to use a J attack for, but at the same time, this is a really nice cheeky J attack. It's a pretty nice card as well, and it's only sitting at just under $5 on the market price. But you're actually looking at about $8 if you want to pick one of these up, nearly $9. So if you have one, get rid of it now. For double the market price, you cannot go wrong. But if you are picking it up and looking for one, I would suggest either trading or just waiting for one. To say this is that's the cheapest you will get it, I would honestly suggest just waiting until the market dies down a little bit. Next up we have the Guzzler deck. Obviously, I'm just going to give this a shout out because of Sneak format, the pre-release, sorry. Obviously, people playing this with 39 energy and just winning the event. Just giving it a shout out. Market price of actually just over $4. The actual cheapest at the moment now seems to be about $7, just over. Actually quite interesting, it's so expensive at the moment still. Right, next up we have obviously these the cheaper, not as competitive cards of the Gyarados at market price of just $3. Alolan Executor also just under $3 actually. Golem GX just over $2, and then we're getting into the commons, etc. Yeah, nothing incredible I can see. I mean, the counter energy is still about 40 cents. If you do want them, may as well get these ones there, that the secret rares. Anyway, next up we have the Shining Legends set. Start off with this Zoroark GX. Obviously, Zoroark GX is such an incredible card. It can go in any deck as a 1/1 evolution line, a 2/1 evolution line, a 2/2 even. I've even seen people playing a 4/3 evolution line of this, and even a 4/4. Just because of that ability to discard 1 and draw 2 is so powerful, along with such a great attack of a double colorless as well. With the Hyper S only just under $30 on market price, the actual cheapest being nearly $70, it's about $37, $38. I would honestly, if you have this, sell the secret rare and probably go and get the collection box for the full art Zoroark GX, because you can also get packs as well, and you also get your holo Zoroark in it as well, and it does the exact same thing obviously, but obviously you can save a lot of money just getting the collection boxes instead. Let's have a look at this Mewtwo GX. Obviously we have the secret shining. Obviously it's the secret. This is the secret rare test tube version. Market price of about $24. The actual cheapest at the moment is about $35. Again, at the moment, I don't think this is worth buying. I would rather buy, as you can see underneath, the rainbow version variant, or even the half art or the full art version instead. I don't recommend picking up this one at the moment. If you have it, I strongly suggest selling it because it is so high compared to its market price. This will definitely fall after so long, but I could be slightly wrong, and it may even go even higher because collectors and Mewtwo and hype, it is something it could happen either way. I would suggest personally selling mine now though, picking up a half art to play if you're playing it, or just selling it having the money, because $35 for this at market price of 23 is incredible. Obviously the Mewtwo GX Hyper Rare is market at just under $22. Lowest as well is 32 actually. I would suggest selling these as well. This is pretty much just under the same price as the secret rare version. I would honestly suggest getting them both. Like, if you have either of these, honestly get rid of them. Obviously getting like the half art version instead, it's much cheaper, saves you a lot of money and does the exact same thing, especially to say their prices are so high compared to their market price. Next up is the Shining Mew. This is sitting at just under $20 in the market, being about 24 in actual price. Actually, it's quite surprising to me. I didn't see it going higher than 20 at the moment. If you are looking for one, I would probably recommend waiting a couple of weeks, seeing if it goes down in price. If it sticks around the same, I then would suggest buying it in a couple of weeks, but just in case, I would wait, see if it goes down. Next up is the Zorok GX half art. Obviously the full art wasn't included in the set, it was only in the collection box. So the only variants were the secret rare and this half art. The half art's market price is about just under $13, and it's actually the cheapest one at the moment is about $20. At the moment, for $20, I would definitely suggest getting the collection box. You get the full art, you get obviously some packs, and you also get the holo rare Zorro, which is also useful. You may as well have it in your deck to make it look shinier. I would honestly suggest, if you have this half art, sell it, go buy, the full art collection box. It's much better. Obviously you're getting a better rarity, you're getting packs, and you're also getting the Zorro. It's definitely worth the money. We have here the NTGX sitting around $11 and a bit. Actually it's the lowest at the moment is nearly 20 actually. If you have this and you're not using it, I would suggest getting this at the moment. Like, for $20, I didn't see this happening. I saw it being a $10, maybe 15 tops. But for $20, I would probably get rid of this, buy it again in a couple of weeks when the prices die down again. We have the Shining Genesis set, market of just over 11. The Shining Rayquaza's market is actually $8, it's actually cheaper. We have the Shiny Victini, which is about 7. Again, this Shining set is a interesting set. I honestly didn't think half these cards would be as expensive as they are. Obviously, cards such as the Zoroark I expected to be quite high. I didn't for the rest. Also, I just like to point out this now: Mewtwo GX for the full art compared to the Hyper Rare and the secret version, the test tube one. The full art's market price is just under $5. Obviously, at the moment they're selling for just under 10, but from the 5 to the 20, from like 7 to the 30s, there's a big difference. You may as well play the full art or the half art, save a lot of money, just incredible prices. We have the Raichu GX. A friend of mine actually thought it would be big, so he picked up a load of these, thinking it'd be like, a good $15-20 each. They're only just under 5. I feel quite sorry for him. We also have Shining Volcanion, just under 4. Shining Arceus, also just under 4. The Pokemon Breeder at just over $3. I'm actually quite shocked at this. I thought this would be a nice $9 to $10 card. I expected it to be a really good card, one of in nearly every deck. We can actually see though that some of them are selling, and actually the cheapest one selling at the moment is actually $9, which is roughly what I said, but market price of just over 3 is really surprising to me. Here we are, the Mewtwo GX half art, market price of just under $3. That is a massive discount compared to the Hyper Rare and the test tube. Obviously at the moment though, the cheapest one at the moment is selling for about 10. I would honestly wait if you are getting this, but again it is a lot cheaper from the 10 to the 30s and 40s that you can pay for the higher rarities. After that, I don't think there's anything amazing. Obviously the Marshall is there, about 61 cents. It's a nice card to get. If you haven't got one, I suggest picking up a couple just in case. A double colorless from the Shining Legends set, sitting at 60 cents. That's not bad. Obviously we have the Raikou, we have the Yveltal, we have the Ultra Ball at 31 cents each. Not a bad card. The Shaman, I do suggest picking up 2 or 3 of these Shaman. Obviously its attack isn't as good as obviously the ability we used to have, but it is a nice card at just under 30 cents. I do suggest picking up a couple. Same as this Warp Energy, 27 cents. You may as well pick 4 up just in case you do ever need them now, in case it increases in price. Last thing I'll look at is obviously the Burning Shadow set, and obviously the most expensive card in this set is the Secret Rare Hyper Rare Charizard GX at market price just under $80, which is mind-boggling. But even better and even more surprising is the actual cheapest one on the market at the moment is just over $110. This is incredible. If you pull one of these, congratulations, you've made money for a box. You can probably even start saving for a car. But if you do have one and you're not using it and you're not a collector, I do suggest shifting this at the moment. You could even ask for $100 and make profit on this. It is not hard to sell these at the moment. These are hyped amazingly right now. They're $30 above their market price. If you have one, I suggest getting rid of it as soon as possible. Obviously, as well as the Full Art Guzma, a second expensive card, selling at just over $41 market price, actually selling for over $50, looking at about $52 onwards for them. A good card. Even the half art, if I remember right, are about $3 or $4 at the moment. We also have the Fair Energy. This is quite expensive compared to some of the others because obviously Gardevoir is quite hyped at the moment, winning worlds and being such an aggressive and fast-paced deck even for a stage 2 evolution deck. Choice Bands, obviously such a great card in this meta at the moment, with it being EX and GX filled. Obviously doing extra damage and making it as shiny as possible is also good. A price of about $30, nearly $31, obviously is the market price, and obviously your cheapest one is about the same, $30 to $31. If you do want one, I suggest picking it up. I don't see this card ever going lower unless we get a second secret rare print of it, and I don't see that happening for a very long time, if at all. We also have a secret rare Gardevoir GX, looking about $30 for market price. Actually, it's selling for cheaper than the market price. If you do want one, I would suggest buying one now. If you have them and you're trying to get rid of them, you can get rid of them now, or you can keep hold of them. They may go up again closer to like when we have some nationals and international tournaments and obviously world champions next year, if the deck's still relevant, which I honestly think it will be. I quite enjoy the deck. It will be hyped up and priced again, so the secret rare, hyper rare versions will be quite expensive. Obviously, I'll give a quite quick shout out to the Darkness Energy secret rare. You're looking about $25 on the market price, actually going for over $30 in the actual lowest price. And I suggest getting rid of these if you have them. If you're not playing them, and at the moment there's not a lot of decks that are playing Darkness, obviously there's not as many as, say, for example, the Gardevoir deck. I suggest selling these, and if you want to pick them up, wait in a couple of weeks, maybe even a month or two, closer to Christmas. Obviously everything's going to be cheaper. Probably suggest waiting until then. Acerola, a nice card, you're looking about $24 to $25 on the market price. The actual cheapest though is $34 to $35. This is incredible. At the moment, if you have one of these, you can hold on to it and see if it actually goes up anymore. I honestly think it will go to about $40 at the maximum. I honestly see it reaching 40, then going back down to its original market price of about 25, 26. If you have one, you can keep hold and wait until it hits 40, or you can get rid of it at the moment, make a nice profit, and then try wait and get another full art in a couple of weeks if it does go down. Gardevoir full art, market price of just under 19, selling for just under 19. You can pick these up now. I honestly don't see this getting any lower. If it does, only a few cents. There's no point in waiting. You may as well pick them up now before they go higher. It's Gardevoir, it won world championships. It will get hyped again at some point when there's some other tournaments. May as well pick them up now if you are after them. We have the Glitterpod GX hyper rare secret rare version. Obviously this came second at World, so it's not as hyped, but it is still a very good card. You're looking at about market price of just under 18. Lowest at the moment is actually just over 20. If you have this, it wouldn't be a bad idea to move them or try get a couple of half arts or full arts instead. But again, a very good card, and to say it's the price, it's actually cheaper than the Gardevoir GX full art. If you are playing Glitterpod, you may as well spend the money and get the hyper rare, I believe, at the moment. Secret rare Fire Energy, market price of just over 16. Cheapest at the moment is about 22. If you have them, I would suggest getting rid of them now. If you're collecting them, obviously keep it. If you are looking for it, again, I suggest waiting a couple of weeks. Next up, we have the Rescue Stretcher. Obviously, most decks were and still are playing one of these, so it's a pretty nice card to have. Market price of just over $16, and if you're looking to buy one, the actual cheapest at the moment is about $22 to $23. Obviously, if you look on other sites as well, you could find it cheaper than this, closer to the $16 mark. I suggest eBay and obviously Facebook as well for any cards I have mentioned and do mention any of these market watches. Next up we have the Hyper Rare Darkrai, market price of actually just under $14. It's actually selling for about $19. Again, this is one of them ones, if you have it and you don't need it, get rid of it. Get rid of it. I don't see this being as great as everyone thinks it is at the moment. I mean, it's not a bad card, don't get me wrong, but at the moment I don't think it is as great as it could be. It needs a few more cards to help its potential. So at the moment I don't see it going to this like $19-20 mark in general. I see it going back down. This is like a hype at the moment. People wanting it, to sell it for higher. I honestly think just wait, it will go down a lot cheaper. We also have the Necrozma GX, nice card, especially that GX tag to hit all your Pokemon abilities with 100 damage. Market of 10, and actually selling cheapest at the moment for 17 for the Hyper Rare. Again, if you have one, sell it. If you want one, wait. I honestly don't think it's going to keep its hype. It's a nice card, I think so, especially with the Quality attacks as well on a Psychic type, getting some nice weakness in. But I honestly don't think it will stay at $17-18. I reckon it will go down to 10 again. Glycerpod half that, you're looking at just under 10 on the market price, and the actual cheapest at the moment is actually just over $15-16 roughly. Again, if you have one of these, I will get rid of it now. It will go back down to 10. If not, it'll settle to about 11 or 12. You may as well make money on this one. It's a good fun card and it's a good deck, but I think you are at this price better off going for the Hyper Rare version for an extra few dollars. We have the Gardevoir GX half art, market price of just under 10, selling actually for about $16, which is quite interesting. Obviously some people are trying to pick these up and stuff now. It's a good card. Obviously it won World Championships. Great card, great deck, really fun. If you have them, you may as well get rid of them now unless you're going to build it in the future. It will go down again to about 10 roughly. Kiawe, about $10 for the market price. You're looking at about 14 to 15 if you want to buy one at the moment. I honestly think Kiawe is going to increase in price more with the more hype at the moment with the steel type decks, the metal type decks. Obviously we saw it did quite well in the London internationals. I honestly think this card is going to reach probably the $20 mark soon. If you have one, keep hold of it. If you do want to get rid of it, you can get rid of it now if you want. You can wait a couple of weeks and it will reach the $20 mark. Obviously there is a chance it'll go back down to roughly 10. I honestly see this going up more because Volcanion is going to be hyped, the same as the Ho-Ho and maybe even possibly Charizard decks. Coming up next as well actually is the Charizard GX. On release I think these were $30-40 minimum. At the moment it's sitting at just under 9 on the market price. They're actually about 26 cheapest at the moment. It's actually quite a time if you have them to get rid of them. This will again go back down. I remember 2 weeks after the pre-release this went down to about $5. I picked up a couple of these just because I like Charizard. I picked up a couple for about $5-6. It will happen again. It's Charizard. It's going to go up like this. It's going to go down to about 5. It could even sit at 10. I honestly, if you want one, honestly just wait. If you have them, just get rid of them now. Don't keep them. Get rid of them. You can buy a replacement later. It will go back down again. I swear it will. Next up, we have the Hyper Rare Tapu Fini GX, sitting at just under 8 on the market price and actually selling for about $9, just over. It's a nice card. If you are going to get it, you may as well spend $8-9 and get the secret rare version. I think personally the Hyper Rare looks better. I know a few people prefer the full art. I do prefer the secret rare, and for only $7-8 you can't go wrong. We have the Super Scoop Up secret rare version, sorry. Market price is actually just under 8, but it seems to be selling for about 14 onwards. Obviously this is getting more popular because of the Glycerpod deck, and some people are actually starting to pick these up because of Glycerpod as well as the steel type deck, because you can bounce back your Sylvia that's damaged, as well as your other cards that are damaged. And most of them are basics or just stage 1s, which means it's really easy to power them back up, especially with your Registeel on the bench, powering them up with the energy. You're essentially using it on nothing. All you got to do is, just play this one card, and guess what? You may as well play it as high rarity to make it look shinier. Wick at just over $7. It's a nice card. Everyone's saying obviously it's the future end replacement. I personally see in my own decks, I play 3 ends and 2 wicks, just because it is a nice card to unbrick your hand, but also if your opponent's low on cards, you don't want to give him like 6 new ones. So I personally think that Wick is a good card. It seems to be selling actually for about $12 roughly. I honestly think it'll stay around 12. I reckon $11, $12 is where it's going to go. The closer it gets to the next set rotation, obviously we're getting closer to losing N. This will be the replacement. If not, we'll have the new Cynthia coming out in one of the new sets, which is Shuffle Hand Back and Draw 6. I honestly think that you will be playing 3 Cynthia and 3 Wicks, just so you keep yourself at 6, or you can disrupt your opponent after they've searched some cards, for example with Sylveon's attack to search 3 cards. Next up, I just want to talk about the Ho-Ho GX Full Art. Obviously this is just under $7 on the market price, selling for about $7-8. Nothing too special, I just thought I'd give it a shout out because it looks like an amazing card. It's a pretty fun deck, especially considering the metal decks are getting slightly more hyped at the moment, so I think it's a good shout out. If you do want them, you can pick one up now before they rise even more. If you don't want them, you can wait and sell them, or you can sell them now. It's completely up to you. Here's the Glycerpod GX half art. Market price of about $6.50, $6.41 to be exact. The actual cheapest though being just under $13. This is interesting to say, of the market price to this, you're looking about double the price. Again, this is just because it came second at Worlds. I'm actually quite surprised it's hit 12 to 13, doubling it. I expected it to go about 8 to 9 by now. I didn't expect it this high. If you do have them, I would get rid of them. If you want them, I would wait until they've gone down to about $7, maybe $8 or even lower. We'll just have one quick look on this next page. Is anything good for shout outs? If not, I think this will be roughly it. Yeah, we have obviously your secret rare mucks. They're only about $6 if you want them. If you're collecting the set or something, wait until it's 6. I can see here there's some for about $13 to $14. I would not get them at that. I'd wait till they're back down at 6. Necrozma Full Art, looking at market price about £6, selling for about 10, 11 at the moment. Again, if you want these, I would wait, maybe pick them up now if you really need them. Plumeria Full Art, sitting around $5 on the market price, selling for about 10 actually. If you have these, I would get rid of them. It's a nice fun card, but it's nothing great. It's not going to keep this price. It will go back down again. What else we got? We got Marshadow GX Full Art, market price about $4.50. You're looking at about $8 if you want to pick these up. I honestly wouldn't at $8. I would rather go out and buy the tin, get the promo, get your packs, and just pull some other cards as well. It's much easier, and you're also getting the card you still need. Here we have the Necrozma GX half art, market price at just under $3. You're looking about $5 to $6 to pick one up. You may as well pick this one up instead of the others. I personally think this one looks the best, but I'd say either pick this one up or even the tin reprint one. I prefer the original, this one, not the tin, but I would suggest getting the half arts over the other variants. Here we have Godsma. This will be the last one to look at, I think. The market price is around just over $2, and they're actually selling for about $5 to $6 at the moment. This is incredible. If you have them spare, say obviously you need them for your deck, but you have say 2 or 3 spare, I would suggest selling these now, keeping the money, and then buying some more once you've gone down to $2, because everybody will need these, but I don't think they'll be sticking around $4 to $5. I reckon pick them up now. You can get rid of them in a bit. It's a bad idea. I think if you sell them off now, pick some more up later, you'll be doing fine. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who stuck around. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Obviously, I'm a new channel, so I would like, I would appreciate any help, any advice anyone can give me. Leave comments. Obviously the picture quality and the audio quality might not be as good as it could be. I don't want to put anything into this yet until I know people actually want these sort of content. I want to make sure people actually want market watches. Obviously this is quite a big thing that they're doing in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's about 4 or 5 channels I think in total are doing it. They're quite big. Obviously I haven't seen anyone do this in the Pokemon community yet, other than 1 or 2, but it's nothing that's been exactly amazing to me personally. Obviously they've been good, I'm not saying they're bad, but I don't think they're doing it as much as they should be. I see this happening once a week, maybe twice, every 2 weeks, sorry. But they're also doing multiple things, like someone's doing it with Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic content and Vanguard content and some other content. But I want to dedicate this one channel to just the Pokemon Market Watch, because I do think people need this, especially if you're younger and newer and not sure on what you're doing when you're trading and when you're selling. I think this really helps people to understand what they need to do in the community, and I really think people could benefit from not necessarily watching my videos, but from watching something like this, having something like this out there, just so they don't get scammed or ripped off on prices of cards. Anyway guys, I'd like to thank you. I'm going to leave a couple of links in the description for some videos I like to watch myself sort of thing. For example, TrainerTV, amazing channel, they do amazing content, pack opening,